Hi, I'm Paul Wilson, creator of the Body Swing. Here's another tip to help you with your game. If you like this tip, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified when I post new tips. In this tip, talking about why you would hit the ball too high. So most people hit the ball too high. So where does it start? You know, why do you hit it too high? Well, you're hitting it too high because you're adding loft to your golf clubs. There's only a few reasons why you're going to hit it too high. All right, all of these reasons add loft. So ideally, you want to be hitting the golf club with the club slightly descending. That's going to de-loft the club slightly, get that nice compressed sound. So if you're hitting your ball and it keeps going way too high, just you don't have the distance, you know, maybe you slice the ball, all of these things, you know, are adding loft to your club. So let's just talk about a few. So first thing, you know, you could be setting up with the face open. So if I'm here like this with the face square, the more I open the face, the more I add loft to the club. So you want to check that by putting down an alignment stick. If you've got an alignment stick on the ground, you can look at the face relative to the stick. So make sure the face isn't open. Why I'm saying that is because a lot of people don't use an alignment stick. So visually to them, they look like they're aiming the face nice and square when really the face is actually open. So we want a nice square club face. Next thing we want to check is our grip. All right, so, you know, we want to do a neutral grip. Now, it's pretty rare when somebody does a weak grip, okay? People that do a weak grip are people who have had a strong grip and then learned a neutral grip, but then they overdid it. So a weak grip would be the bottom hand rotated this way too much. So this line is pointing, let's say, nose over and beyond. So nose or forward of your nose. The bottom line, the line on your bottom hand. You could also be in a one knuckle grip position. So if I go like this and I move this hand too much on top, when I go through, I'm going to hit the ball with the face most likely open because it's very difficult now to release the golf club. All right, so we want to check our grip. Two knuckle position, fingers, then we're wrapping this hand off, but this bottom line is parallel to the line on your top hand, and they both go between the back ear and shoulder. I have tons of tips on grip. Just type in grip and all the tips will come up to learn the proper neutral grip. All right, so we've got that. So face position, grip. Then we've got our hand position. Pretty rare, like I don't see too many people doing this, but you know, the more you set up with your hands behind the ball, the more you would be adding loft to your golf club. All right, pretty rare. All you got to do, just look at the grip when you go to set up. So look at the end of the grip. You want your hands even with the ball, which if I do my setup like this, my hands, you know, they look even with the ball here. If I lowered the grip, it would be just inside the seam on my pants and just slightly forward of my belt buckle. Be careful not to go too far forward. Otherwise, you're going to de-loft your golf club too much. All right, and that's going to produce low shots. All right, so we've got club face, we've got weak grip, make sure you check that. Then we've got our hands, make sure they're not too far behind the ball. And then basically the number one thing people do to hit when they hit the ball too high, they have too much weight on their back foot at contact. So what that means is we're starting at 50-50. You know, ideally we want to be moving 80-20, and then we want the weight to gradually come off that so it's more into the forward leg as we're hitting the ball. Now, a lot of people do what's called a reverse pivot. So if we're like this, 50-50, and we go to 80-20, this is the reverse of what it should be. I've got the weight on the wrong leg at the wrong time. Well, guess what the weight's going to do? It's going to shift to the back leg as you hit the ball. So it's the wrong way. That's why it's called a reverse pivot. This would be a pivot. over here, and then over here, well, you're doing the opposite. You're moving it to the forward leg and then back leg. So if I hit a shot like this, that ball is way up in the air and going absolutely nowhere. So it's too much weight on the back foot at impact. So if I hang back, I add loft. Couple that with, you know, the face being open, now you add even more loft, and you just don't hit the ball very far at all. So we want to make sure that our weight is moving onto the back instep and then gradually coming off the instep, or off the back foot through impact. So as I hit the ball, you know, I'm coming in like this, and then my back foot is off the ground about 3 or 4 inches with irons, 5 or 6 inches with driver. So if the heel is lifting, your weight is shifting. So you want to just double check that, make sure. You could even do some practice swings like that. Just go like this and feel the heel. Feel your heel. Just make sure it's a little bit off the ground when you go to hit the ball, and then apply that sensation to your shots. All right, then they should start coming down. The final thing that people do, and this is coupled with your hands being behind the ball through impact, and that is the chicken wing. Okay, this is just such a huge problem. So, you know, you gotta learn a little bit different way to do it. So if you're doing a chicken wing, you're starting with your arms, you know, hopefully they're stretched out at the beginning, but then you're hitting it with your arms buckled through impact. So if you buckle the arms, the grip starts to fall behind the head. Okay, you do that, you're gonna add loft. More loft, higher your shots, more backspin, more they come down vertically. You're not gonna get, you know, roll on your longer clubs, and the irons and everything, you're just not gonna hit them very far. You know, get a windy day and yeah, you're gonna really hit them, you know, very, very short. So, you know, can you fix the chicken wing instantly? You know, I have tons and tons and tons of tips on how to fix a chicken wing. Basically, when you do a chicken wing, if you set up with your arms stretched out and you buckle your arms, you are contracting your arm muscles. It's pretty simple. This is a contracted position. That's an extended position. So you have to send a signal to the muscles to make them contract. So you're doing it. So you need to let that go. You need to stop thinking about hitting with your arms. You need to turn your arms off. You should know by now, my whole concept is powerless arms. All right, so it's a looser feeling. It's a stretching out feeling. You know, just think to yourself, you know, you don't want to be hitting the ball. If you set up with your arms stretched out, you don't want to be hitting the ball with your elbows bent or your lead elbow bent. So just sit there and, you know, maybe you can do some easy shots. Feel the arms stretch out. You know, feel the club stretching this way instead of scooping and lifting. All right, so getting kind of long with this tip, but this one is kind of the most important one. Most people hit the ball too high. All right, so if that's you, you got to go through this little list. Maybe make a little list as you watch this video. All right, is the face open at address? Just use an alignment stick to see. So square it up. That might fix your problem. All right, do I have the hands behind the ball, or behind the face, or behind the ball even, okay? That would be very easy to check as well. So you need your hands even or slightly ahead of the ball, right here, so it's slightly ahead of your belt buckle. Check your grip. We need a neutral grip. 2 knuckles of the top hand, the back hand, this line matches this line, pointing between the back ear and shoulder. All right, pretty simple. The big one is probably going to be, are you hanging back? Do you have too much weight on the back foot as you hit the ball? Okay, that's pretty huge. A lot of people do that, probably the great majority. So we need the weight coming off of the back foot better. And then finally, you know, the dreaded chicken wing. and that's gonna take some work. But like I said, I've got tons and tons of tips on how to fix a chicken wing. Hopefully you are working on them to get this lead arm more extended through impact as opposed to buckling. If you buckle, the grip falls behind the head, you add loft, you hit it way too high. All right? I truly hope you've enjoyed this tip. You know, I've been teaching a powerful, effortless, pain-free golf swing now for over 25 years. If you'd like to learn this type of swing, then head on over to bodyswing.com/free samples. I'll send you some free samples of my book and video series that take you step by step by step through how to build a powerful, effortless, pain-free golf swing. So once again, head on over to bodyswing.com/free samples or click the link in or below this video and I'll send you the free samples right away.